Hello everybody, I'm Zach, this is Brokenomics. Today we're going to be discussing DuckDao on another episode of our LaunchPad series, trying to figure out the best place for you guys to put your hard-earned crypto and cash. So without further ado, let's get into it. DuckDao is part of the multifaceted waterfowl family, with their logo being the infamous rubber ducky. Started around August 2017, which is longer than most of the projects we've covered. DuckDao is not a launchpad per se, but rather a community-powered crypto incubator. It's kind of like a decentralized VC investment platform. It aimed to break the cycle of early stage investment in high potential crypto projects being bought out by VCs who buy out all the tokens in strategic seed and the private sales at far lower prices than us retail investors, and then they proceed, as they do, to dump on us. So DuckDao allows practically anybody to both invest in promising early stage crypto startups and also lend a hand into success by assisting with user acquisitions, growing the community, and of course marketing. DuckDao operates a public token sale launchpad called Duckstarter, where those holders of DuckDLP or DUCK tokens can participate in the final last stage of the project before it launches on the centralized exchanges or the decentralized ones. DuckDao, on the other hand, has a native token called DuckDao Dime, which is just really fun to say, like DuckDao Dime. The DuckDao Dime token is the token required for the DuckDao membership, and holding your DDIM token in your wallet gives you access to private sales deals and being super early. So to do so will grant you a certain amount. There are 5 tiers in the DuckDao Dime ecosystem. There's Duck Fight Club, which is 10 tokens, the Beach Club, which is 200 tokens, the Gentleman's Club, which is 2,500 tokens, the Diamond Club, which is 10,000 tokens, and then finally there's the All Stars, which is just the top 10 DuckDao Dime token holders. There's a lot of DuckDao Dime there, isn't there? Anyway, now if you look at the chart, DuckDao Dime started its life at about $5, which is quite a lot, and then it had a huge run up where it peaked 3 times. Once at the start of February this year, then back down, then again in March, and then again in April, and since then it's followed the market. Now, like everything else, it looks to be on the way up. So DuckDao Dime might be of interest to some of you. However, it's quite expensive, about 25 bucks. So there's also Duckstarter. I did say there's a family of waterfowl. Duckstarter is a launchpad, aka it's a service platform for blockchain projects, acting as the final bridge before the project finally goes public on exchanges and the like. And if you don't have a lot of money to invest, this could be a really interesting proposition. Duckstarter have come up with a novel point system. This point system is designed to help average out the odds of securing an allocation in IDOs over a longer period of time, reducing the odds of multiple IDOs allocations in a row, of losing them, while giving those who have been unlucky an increased chance to win the next IDO allocation. So giving everybody a chance to get a piece of the pie, essentially. They call getting a piece of the pie, getting an IDO allocation, they call a batch 1. This is where you win. So there's 3 batches. Depending on the whitelist results, each user will either receive or lose points depending on the batch they get given. The point system generates a list of all the wallets according to the multipliers or tiers they have, and sorts lists from top to bottom, placing users in the appropriate batch, starting of course with batch 1, the winners. Batch 1 users lose all the points, batch 2 users lose 1 point, and batch 3 users wins 2 points. So the formula is points plus 1. So for example, if a user has 5 points, their address will show up 6 times during the next IDO whitelisting event. What is crucial is users can only accumulate points by whitelisting in batch 3. To get a true random number generation, they use stuff like Mesrine's Twister PRNG algo with the debased Mondolo method and Fisher-Yates shuffle algorithm. Of course, all these things you know, and I've left the links in the description if you fancy a little bit of light bedtime reading, which I know a lot of you love. Duckstarter claim, and I'm quite inclined to agree, that this is a step towards complete decentralization of Duckstarter, as it enables autonomous and reliable whitelisting, proper point calculation and batch management. Unlike many other launchpads, Duckstarter don't just like throw up the whitelist on a Google Doc and you just figure out if you're on it or not, but rather they have a public point leaderboard, which is super interesting, where you can compare your points to the list of other wallets that have points in your batch and tier. For example, if you ended up in batch 3 for the last 3 IDOs, that means you would start off with 6 points because it's 2 times by 3. Whereas if you won the last IDO, i.e. you're in batch 1, then your score will start at 0.
Or here you can see with the bronze tier, this user OXF hasn't won anything in probably about 17 rounds, give or take. And there is 16 pages where at the end, obviously, everybody will be on 0 points. So give you an idea of where you can be on your points tier list and your chance of getting an allocation next time. Silver, we can see there's 588 participants. Users on 29 points, so he's quite likely, I would assume, to get it in the next IDO. Gold, again, 28, it's 500, and platinum, 500 as well. So you can see there's about 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,600 basically users in this leaderboard. But it's nice to see where you are at in your tier and what your current point total, and then like how much more likely you are to get an allocation next time, in opposed to many of the other launchpads where it's just a punt in the dark.
0. So Duckstarter is also a first come first serve basis, so users compete to be the first one to complete a transaction to claim their spot in the offering. Users only compete with other users in their tier, so if you're in bronze tier and there's 500 users, that's all you're competing with. Early unlocking will trigger, early unlocking of your Duck tokens will trigger a penalty burn, but the amount burned depends on how many days have passed since your most recent Duck lock-in. So for example, let's say you're in bronze tier with 2,000 Duck tokens and you want to get to gold tier. You deposit 8,000 Duck tokens and your account then will be reset to 0 days. So there's a penalty for you unlocking your Duck tokens early. If you unlock your tokens under 10 days, there'll be a 30% burn. 20 days, 25%, 30 days, 20%, all the way up to 90 days where it'll be 0%. This de-incentivizes people to move their tokens in and out of Duckstarter. If we look at the DuckDao DLP token, it looks extremely like its waterfall cousin, the DuckDao Dime, with 3 peaks in February, March and April, a long sell-off in line with the market, and now beginning to slow march upward at a current price of 38 cents. Which will give you $760 will get you in the bronze tier, $1,900 in silver, $3,800 to gold, $7,600 in the platinum, and a whopping $38,000 USD to get you into the champion tier. DuckDao is an extremely interesting proposition. It's reasonably cheap, it has its catches, but everything's super transparent. In the next video, I'm going to go down and break down some figures over the 45 or so projects that have launched so far on Duckstarter. So be sure to check that out. My name's Zach, this is Brokenomics, I'm out.